Okay. Good morning. Making this video to get you guys going on our 6C notes. Um, so we'll go ahead and get started here. Um, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing this to sort of put some word problems to sort of what we've been doing with our 6A and 6B with our trig stuff. Okay. Um, so first thing, we're going to have an angle of elevation. Okay, is an angle formed by a horizontal line on a line of sight above the horizontal line. Okay, so if we're looking for something with an angle of elevation, basically if we have a right triangle right there, okay, the angle of elevation would be right there. Okay, so that's that. The other angle would be an angle of depression, which is an angle formed by a horizontal line and a line of sight going down. Now, so if I were to draw a triangle here like this, okay, and draw up a right triangle, there is no angle of depression in this triangle, okay? What would have to happen is I'd have to draw an imaginary horizontal line on the top, okay? And that angle of depression would be right there, okay? However, if you remember our rules from alternate interior angles, this angle up here is alternate interior with that angle down there, okay? So an angle of depression is going to be in the same location that an angle of elevation is, okay? It's just the way that the problems are worded. Sometimes they'll give you an angle of depression if it's something that's on top going down. Sometimes they'll give you an angle of elevation if it's something down going up, okay? But whatever happens, whether they give us an angle of depression or elevation, okay, they're always equal, okay? And we could always put the angle of elevation or angle of depression right there. We draw a little right triangle and the little acute theta angle is going to be at the bottom, okay? So whenever we do, um, you know, a word problem when it involves angles of elevation or angles of depression, we're going to put our angle at the bottom there. Okay, so we're going to draw a little right triangle that looks like that and put the angle there. All right, and I want to go over a few of these word problems to sort of show you guys how these things kind of look, and then we'll skip through a few of these, but let's look at number 6. So suppose the sun casts a shadow off a 35-foot building. If the angle of elevation of the sun is 60 degrees, how long is the shadow to the nearest tenth of a foot? So again, we'll draw up a right triangle that looks like this. Right angle on the bottom. Okay. Now, think of our words here. We have a 35-foot building. Okay, so buildings aren't measured side to side, they're measured up and down. So the building is 35 feet. Okay. The angle of elevation is 60 degrees, so we put the angle of elevation at 60 degrees down there. Okay. And then they're trying to find out how long the shadow is. Well, the length of a shadow is going to be on the bottom right there. I know the picture kind of shows it, but I want to make sure that we can draw these freehand because not all these have pictures. Okay. So, um, so that's that. So now we have an angle and we have two sides. Okay. So now we have to determine what we got. So the angle 60 degrees, 35 is the O. Okay. It's the opposite side. And that is the A. Okay. X is the A. Okay. So we have O and we have A. That tells us we're going to use tangent. Okay, so the formula would be, tan of 60 equals 35 over x. All right, tan of 60 equals 35 over x. So we'll cross multiply, we'll do all that, and we'll have 35 times 1, which is 35, equals x times tan 60. Okay, and so the x we're going to divide, is going to be equal to 35 divided by tan 60, just like we did on our 6A notes, and then we'll find our value for x. Okay, so long story short, when they give us an angle of elevation or angle of depression, we'll draw up a right triangle and put the angle right there. Okay, one of the sides they're going to give us, so you have to sort of read the problem and see whether it's talking about a horizontal thing or a vertical thing, or maybe a hypotenuse. Is just going to sort of depend on the problem right there. Okay, so that's that there. Let's look at one more here. And let's look at number 1 here on the trig word problems practice here, okay? And so this one has 2 parts. All right. So a skateboard ramp is 15 feet long and is set at an angle of elevation of 8 degrees. So we have, our right triangle drawn up. So there's an 8-degree angle down there at the bottom. Okay. The ramp is 15 feet long. Okay. The actual ramp. Okay. So if we're thinking of a ramp, well, a ramp is diagonal. Okay. The ramp is really the hypotenuse. Okay. So the length of the ramp is 15 feet. So H is going to be 15. Okay. If it's asking how high off the ground does the ramp go, well, how high off the ground that the ramp goes is my O. Okay. So that being said, that's the O, and we're looking for the H. Well, then that's going to tell us we're going to use sine. Okay. So sine of 8 degrees is going to be our O over 15. Okay. Part 2, the horizontal distance of the ramp. Well, the horizontal distance of the ramp is the A. Okay, and then we already have the H, so then we'll do cosine. So that one will be cosine of 8 is equal to A over 15. Okay, and then we'll set up our proportions. We'll cross multiply, we'll divide, and then we'll be off to the races there to find what we need to find. Okay, so try those problems out. We'll talk about them in class in a minute, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care.